All right, guys, welcome back. Another Lady Savage video with myself, the Lady Savage, Crystal Sykes. So today we're going to be diving in to some of the diets that I've done over the years. In January, I will have been doing keto for 5 years, but within my keto journey, I've done a lot of different things with my macros, played with a lot of different food things, but let's talk about before I went keto. So before I went keto is when I had all of these gastric issues and I was having a really tough time. So the doctors actually put me on a liquid diet. Prior to the liquid diet, I was eating whatever I wanted to, fast food all the time, really cheap food that, of course, someone super young can afford. And then they put me on this liquid diet. And the liquid diet contained of a lot of really easily digested sugars. And literally, I chewed on nothing. I only had shakes. It was like ice and protein powders and lots of fruit and things like that, syrups and stuff like that, just so I could get something in my stomach because I wasn't really able to eat a whole lot. So when I did this diet, Robert was kind of telling me, like, you are going to give yourself diabetes. You're not getting in enough protein. You're getting in so much sugar. Let's try to change something. So we tried out keto for a second. First time I tried it, it was terrible. I did not feel good. I was already having gastric problems, and the change of going keto, at that time we didn't know that that was pretty normal, so I just felt really uncomfortable and I said I'm not going to do that anymore. So I took a second break and I went to do a paleo diet because I thought, well, maybe that way I'll still have some carbs, blah, 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 and that still did not go so well. So I went back to the liquid diet, stayed there for a little bit. Robert said, well, why don't we just do the liquid with a high fat? Let's give that a shot. So that is what began my ketogenic journey for the last 5 years, and I do not intend to do any other type of lifestyle as far as carbs, fats, proteins, things like that go. I will always remain keto as far as that I can see. I plan to always stay keto. So within my keto journey, I have changed a few things. I have done like a brick-only fast. We do not suggest this for people. We always like to mix the bricks with something nutrient-dense like meat. So I did do a brick fast. That actually went pretty good. I think I did it for like 5 days or something, and I felt fine. I felt totally fine, but it was more so just to prove a point than anything, and that was just really stupid of me. And then after that, I did a meat and bricks challenge. Way easier because you get the change up of the savory meat with the sweeter brick, and the mix of the two was just perfect. Plenty of calories, felt really good. There was also a period of time where I was having some stomach upset. I was having a really hard time with my joints, and I just wasn't feeling super awesome. So we thought, well, maybe I have a food sensitivity. So I did a food sensitivity test, and there was some things that I was slightly sensitive to, but nothing was really in the red. So I ended up doing and following through with the Elimination Diet. And honestly, I was miserable. I still had ketogenic macros. I still stuck to my keto ways, but I felt miserable because I was only able to eat certain types of foods. I didn't ever feel full. It was really weird. Even though I was hitting the same macros, the types of foods that I was having to eat to fill up was just so unappealing. It was not good. I couldn't eat chicken. I couldn't eat beef. I felt stuck. So that was pretty miserable. And yes, if you do have some really big sensitivities, that is something I suggest you do, but it wasn't really for me. So I ended up stopping that early because I was just so miserable. The pain was not going away. I gave it like a month chance, and the pain of my joints and everything wasn't going away. So I just said, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. It's too stressful, and it's not worth it to me. So after a little bit of time, I still felt terrible. So that's when I started working with Ali Miller, and we didn't do the elimination diet, but we did work on trying to heal some of the hormones, the cortisol, the adrenal fatigue, some of the sex hormones and things like that. So we did what I called like my hormone diet, and we actually did a video of that previously. If you guys are interested in what I did there, I incorporated a little bit more cruciferous vegetables, some sprouts, some flax, things like that. But one thing I was very strict on with her, and I told her I will always do high-fat keto diet. I don't want to do any carb ups. I don't want to do anything like that. And so I did that, and I felt pretty good. However, some of the vegetables and things like that were not sitting well with my stomach. It made me feel really heavy and really bloated, and I knew that those foods didn't really sit well with me in the first place. So we had to play around with that a little bit and incorporate a little bit more yogurt and things like that. So that was still really rough. So I have done so many different little things here and there. And one time I tried carnivore. And this one time that I tried carnivore, I did have someone like coaching me through it, and it was super high protein. I'm talking super high protein, and it wasn't low fat, but it was definitely a lot lower fat than the protein, and I did not feel well. This was also during the time where I was trying to figure out how to feel the best, because again, like my joints were hurting. I had a lot of extra stressors going on, and a lot of it had to do with the adrenal fatigue and things like that. So I was trying to find something or a way of eating that was going to make me feel the best. And that high protein didn't sit well. I got to the point where I would rather not eat than eat another thing of meat. And it just didn't feel right. It felt like so many people had done that and felt really successful with it. I ended up getting super crazy bloated after eating beef. And so I thought maybe I had a beef sensitivity. There were so many things that went on during this time that I thought, I am never doing carnivore again. That is crazy. I'm not ever gonna do that. I felt miserable. And then I really got to thinking, and Robert started questioning me on, well, maybe it wasn't carnivore. Maybe it was just the such high amount of protein and such low amount of fat that actually did you in and made you not feel so well. The one thing that helped me in my stomach with keto was that the fat was so much higher and the protein was moderate. And I think when I switched that, my stomach couldn't handle all the protein going through it with such little fat. So that leads me to my next little thing, and I am gonna I'm gonna give it a shot. First of all, let me tell you guys, I do actually feel really good right now. I stopped really tracking crazily. I always meant to make sure that I was eating plenty of calories. I've done a video previously on what I've been eating and how much I've been eating and things like that. So if you guys are interested, you can look at a past video of that. But I've been eating plenty. I've been really just trying to focus on my health, really trying to take a step back with working out so heavy or over-stressing my body, letting my body have a day off when it needed it, whereas before I was just really pushing. And I was stressing my body to a level that it couldn't handle anymore. And I have shared a little bit of that with you guys, but not to the extent of some of the pain that I felt and some of the depression that I went through and the anxiety and all the things that went through it, because my life is on screen a lot of the time, and a lot of people weren't interested in knowing how miserable I felt. They just wanted to hear the good things. So there was definitely a period of time where I just felt like it was just too hard, and I finally made it to a point. I've been doing high fat, I've been doing a very moderate amount of protein and sticking around 20 or less carbs a day. So I've been feeling really good, and I thought, okay, I've been feeling good for so long, my workouts are back to normal, feeling amazing, let's challenge myself with a little something more. And so I decided that I want to try to do carnivore again and see if there is a way to feel even better than I do now. So see if I can get rid of any of the inflammation, see if I can recover faster, to see if my sleep scores increase, if my recovery scores increase, things like that. I just wanted to play around with something, and it's been a hot minute since I played around with my diet. So I decided On November 1st, I'm gonna try carnivore again. However, I'm gonna do it more like keto carnivore. I am gonna track my macros and I'm gonna keep my fat a little bit higher. My protein is gonna be moderate again. And I wanna lead you guys all the way through. If you guys wanna do this with me, I would absolutely love to have other people who are joining me on the journey of trying out carnivore. If it's not gone well for you, if you've never tried it and you're curious to see how I'm gonna handle it, am I gonna have coffee? Am I gonna have this? Am I gonna have cheese? Am I gonna have all those things that are like, should I, shouldn't I? I'm gonna explain to you guys how I'm gonna go about it. And then I would like to show you guys my food daily, and I would like to just show you guys the experience that I've had. I'm gonna take before and after pictures to see if my body composition changes at all. And I wanna kind of journal how I'm feeling and things like that, so that you guys can truly see that maybe there is a difference in doing like a keto carnivore with making sure that your fat is high enough. So I'm gonna experiment with this. I'm gonna start on November 1st. Next week, I'm gonna be doing a video on what kind of meat I had purchased, my macros for this whole 21-day challenge, and just things like that. So next week, I will go dive deep into that and what I plan on doing in the next 21 days. But if you guys want to join me, then get rid of all the other foods and get ready to do a carnivore 21-day challenge with me. If you don't want to, that's totally fine, but I know a lot of people are really interested in trying carnivore, but I think it's a little bit intimidating for a lot of people. I am not much of a meat eater, and so this will be a big challenge for me. I'm really excited to like see if I am craving different foods and stuff like that. But I'm gonna save all the rest of the information for next week's video, and we'll dive way deeper into carnivore and all the good and all the everything. So anyways, I will talk to you guys next week, and let me know if you guys have any questions about the diets and things that I've done before. I'm always happy to talk about them, talk about my experience and things like that. So hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will see you next week for our carnivore talk.